There is a version of Nigeria the world rarely sees. A Nigeria not defined by oil, not defined by politics, not defined by imports, but by millions of hands building things from the scratch. Shoes, machines, plastics, engines, fabrics. Entire industries built without government support, without global headlines, without recognition. From the crowded streets of Aba to the industrial compounds of Nnewi to the relentless markets of Onitsha, there exists a hidden system, a manufacturing ecosystem powered not by corporations but by people. This is the story of cities quietly building Nigeria's industrial future. Before we go further, you need to understand something critical. Not all factories are the same. Some are owned by multinational corporations. Others are government-backed industries. What we are talking about here is different. An indigenous manufacturing ecosystem is built by locals, funded by locals, supplied by local networks, and sustained by community knowledge. It is organic industrialization. No master plan, no blueprint, just survival, innovation, and relentless hustle. And Nigeria has some of the most powerful examples of this in Africa. Welcome to Aba. At first glance, it looks chaotic. Crowded streets, tight workshops, endless movement. But look closer, you'll see something extraordinary. This is not just a city. This is a living factory. In Aba, thousands of small manufacturers operate side by side. Shoemakers, tailors, leather workers, fabricators, each one specializing in a piece of a larger system. One person cuts leather, another shapes soles, another assembles, another distributes. Together, they form a complete production chain. This is how Aba produces millions of shoes, garments worn across Africa, bags, belts, and accessories. And here's the most important part. The system was not imported. It was built from the ground up by Nigerians. Aba's secret is simple but powerful. Instead of one big factory, you have thousands of micro factories, shared skills, shared tools, and shared knowledge. This creates lower production cost, faster innovation, and higher adaptability. If one design fails, it changes overnight. If demand rises, production scales instantly. It's messy, but it's incredibly efficient. And it's something many advanced economies are now trying to replicate. Now we move to a different kind of power, Nnewi. If Aba is the people's factory, then Nnewi is the industrial command center. Here, manufacturing evolved from small workshops into full-scale industrial empires. This is where local entrepreneurs didn't just trade goods, they decided to build them. Auto parts, electrical components, motorcycles, and entire vehicles. And Nnewi became a place where importers turned into manufacturers, and manufacturers turned into industrial giants. Nnewi's story is one of transformation. Decades ago, many businessmen here were traders. They imported goods from Asia and Europe, but something changed. They asked a powerful question: why import what we can produce ourselves? And that question sparked a revolution. They began studying products, reverse engineering designs, building local factories. Slowly, they replaced imports with local production. This is how an entire industrial culture was born. Now let's talk about Onitsha, because manufacturing is only half of the story. Distribution is everything. Onitsha is not just a market, it is one of the largest commercial engines in Africa. Here, goods move at incredible speeds. Products made in Aba, machines built in Nnewi, items from across Nigeria all pass through this city. Onitsha connects manufacturers to millions of customers, regional markets, and cross-border trade. It is the heartbeat of the ecosystem. Without Onitsha, production would slow. With it, everything accelerates. Then comes Lagos, Nigeria's industrial giant. Unlike Aba or Nnewi, Lagos operates differently. Here you'll find massive factories, corporate production lines, industrial estates, food processing, cement, chemicals, and plastics. Lagos produces at scale, but here's the key difference. It is driven more by big corporations than grassroots systems. Still, its importance cannot be overstated because Lagos provides infrastructure, ports, and access to global markets. It is the gateway between Nigeria and the world. Travel north, and you'll find Kano, a city with deep industrial history. Long before modern factories, Kano was already producing leather goods, textile, and crafts. Over time, this evolved into tanneries, textile mills, and agro-processing industries. Kano represents something powerful: industrial tradition, a reminder that manufacturing in Nigeria is not new. It has deep cultural roots. Beyond the major industries, there are supporting zones: Ogun State Industrial Belt, Kaduna's manufacturing legacy, Port Harcourt's processing industries. These areas add strength to the system. They provide raw materials, heavy industry, and energy-driven production. Together, they form a national industrial network. But none of this came easy. These ecosystems were built despite poor infrastructure, limited electricity, lack of funding, policy instability, and yet they survived. Not because conditions were perfect, but because the people refused to stop. This is what makes Nigeria's indigenous manufacturing unique. This is not just economic, this is resilience in action. So what happens next? If these ecosystems are supported with better infrastructure, access to finance, stronger policies, Nigeria could become Africa's largest manufacturing powerhouse because the foundation is already there. The skills exist, the network exists, the spirit exists. What remains is skill. Nigeria is not just a nation of consumers, it is a nation of builders. From Aba's workshop to Nnewi's factories to Onitsha's market, a silent revolution is happening, and the world is only beginning to notice. If you found this eye-opening, make sure you subscribe, because we are uncovering more hidden stories shaping Africa's future.